All right, in studio we have Regina from Youngstown Drip. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we're doing this health series where we're basically we're bringing in health professionals to kind of talk about the effects and the struggles that people have, just living their daily lives and to have a better understanding about being in control of some of those things. One thing that keeps coming up as we're talking to these people is that headaches and being in a state of dehydration is a chronic thing. Like
Yes.
a lot of the public finds themselves in it. So why is it with so much access to the things that could, solve this? Why is everybody so dehydrated?
I think it's our lifestyle, just being busy constantly, going from work to after school activities to, doing all these extracurriculars that we're having, like that we're signed up for, and then going to these parties and just trying to have a life. You forget to drink water. You forget to care for yourself. You put yourself on the back burner constantly. And I see that a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like the taste of water. So they would rather go for the sugary drinks, the pop, the coffee, the teas. Then those can dehydrate you rather than hydrate you.
Yeah, so you get the wetness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not getting the benefits of having even though there's water in there, there's absolutely some water in there.
Right.
But with all the sugars and the processing that we do, we take away that advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so I've kind of done both. Like I've done runs where the couple days before I go into like super hydration mode. And I've also come to you and before a run done the IV drip. And I will tell you, it's way easier getting the drip done.
Yeah.
100%. And here's what happens. It lasts longer than a couple days after the race. So what is about the process that makes it stick to you a little bit more than just doing it the drinking water way?
So when we drink water, it's just pure water. When we do IVs, we have 0.9% sodium chloride. That's the exact chemical makeup of sodium chloride that's in your blood. So our body assimilates it faster, easier, and utilizes it easier, faster. And you can create blood with that. You can create secretions. You can create synovial fluid. So we're doing more than just putting it in your belly and then, the
Yeah,
whole,
because
you know,
most
the
of
whole
that
process.
stuff finds its way right back out in
Right.
real short order, right?
Yes.
When you go the IV route, your
Mhm.
body utilizes a lot more of it.
Exactly.
Okay. And so what I also learned is you mentioning sodium chloride is that a lot of the electrolytes that even if you're doing the right thing by downing a gallon of water, that if you don't have the right other stuff with food, that your body can't absorb it and it ends up just passing it as well.
Right. Yeah.
And so a lot of I was listening to a doctor give a headache dissertation, and and that's what I hear over and over again. I felt sluggish. My brain wasn't operating. I have all these headaches, and I'm thinking dehydration, and dehydration.
Yeah.
And so when we give good advice and we tell people some habits that they can change in their lives that aren't big habits. Like I'm not suggesting somebody go out there, fill a milk jug worth of water, and then trying to find a way down. What would your advice be to someone that just wants to make a small change that can get them in a little bit better health profile?
The easiest thing you can do is drink half your weight in ounces of water. So whatever your weight is, cut it in half. Try and find a jug that matches that amount and just be drinking throughout the day. Another thing you can do is put a little salt in that water, some Himalayan sea salt. That can help. And then you can also come and get an IV.
Perfect.
Of
Yeah.
course. I'll never say no to that. But that's just a small little thing that you can do. I wouldn't suggest doing those rehydration drinks because there's so much added sugar in them. I mean, I'm not going to name them all, but there's just so much added sugar that it almost cancels out the electrolytes that you're getting from it.
Yeah, and when I'm exercising a ton, it seems like those don't affect me as much. But if I'm just drinking them when I'm not like at full bore, like I really feel the effects of that sugar, and it makes me actually feel worse on the long, horizon.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of those drinks were created for career athletes, and so if you're just trying to stay hydrated, that's not going to help you out.
Yeah,
Just
for
water,
sure.
and a lot of people don't like the taste of water. That little sea salt can help, or there's some sugar-free flavorings that are out there. That little Mio, people seem to like that, but
all that sugar creates
yeah,
those sensitivities where water tastes so bad because everything else tastes so good.
yeah,
Right. And so it's
right,
hard to just drink a bland thing like water. Even like what I do is I put some bubbles in it and it seems like it's more soda like and it's
right,
more
yeah,
appealing when it's
mm-hmm,
really not much different than the
no,
non-bubbly kind. But my brain thinks, that it is.
yeah. Sometimes we just have to trick ourselves into doing things, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're not, you know, getting into a cycle where you're eating or drinking a ton of terrible things and then trying to eat clean for a week and creating some sort of weird binge cycle.
Yeah. So another thing that they mentioned was, mentioning salt again is putting, we're sort of taught that salt is so bad for the body and so bad for the heart. So we have all these low salt deals, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of salt is necessary, and these electrolytes are necessary to get, the proper hydration. And so if we're depleting or depriving ourselves from what we need, so table salt is not quite as good as what you mentioned, Himalayan sea salt.
Right. Yeah. So table salt is so processed, so refined that it's basically just maybe even man-made chemicals. When you get that sea salt, they're dragging it from the ocean, they're drying it out, they're crumbling it up, and that pink color is more natural than the white.
Okay,
Okay.
so tell us a little bit about the drip and what the process is like, and who your main clients that come through are.
Well, in the beginning, my main clients were athletes. That's who I wanted to serve. That's who I knew was dealing the most with dehydration. But as I got out there more and talked to more people, I found that it was everyday people dealing with dehydration. They're not training for anything, but they're just living their lives, and their lives are so busy. And they're waking up to go to the gym at 5, then they're working an 8 to 10 hour, sometimes 12-hour day. Then they've got to get home, throw their kids to go do whatever travel baseball teams, and then throw McDonald's at them,
Right.
and then get everybody at home by 10. So they're just living a wildly busy life, and they're chronically dehydrated, and they're the ones that aren't eating well because they're not taking care of themselves, not because they don't want to, but because they're just so overburdened with everything else. So just your average person that's dehydrated, and then also people suffering from autoimmune issues who also can't, keep down water or can't absorb vitamins correctly.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things then that add and help you with dehydrated state, and things that absolutely hurt you. So I'm sure alcohol is not great for your hydration state,
That is correct.
and most of us drink a little bit, at least a little bit a day, maybe a little bit a
Mm-hmm.
week, right?
Mm-hmm. So people ask, like, what helps better, getting an IV before you drink or after? So getting an IV and hydrating before you drink a bunch will, like, help you recover the next day. Like, you'll have less of a hangover. And it's almost to the point where people will think, "Oh, I didn't drink enough. My tolerance must be better."
Right.
And then if they do it after, we can get them back alive again. Because I've had people come in and lay on the floor
Mm,
and just bring over the trash can.
that's sad.
And then they'll walk out and they'll be like, "You saved my life."
Yeah.
Because,
Show up like raisins, and then you.
yeah. And then you just fill them full of stuff. And then it starts the detoxification process, because alcohol just destroys your liver, and hydration cleanses out that liver, activates that detoxification process. So a lot of things with drinking water is your stomach can't handle that. It just did so much, it doesn't want more stuff in there.
Right.
So there's more of a likeliness that you're just going to throw that back up.
Right.
When you get an IV, you can bypass that gut, all that issues, and just, like you said, rehydrate, come back to life.
Yeah. All right. So not just the dehydration, but you guys have a lot other concoctions that are good for things like immune system. So why don't you kind of
Yeah.
tell us what everything that's on your menu?
So our defense drip is really popular right now. It's flu and cold season, and we're still going out and doing things, football games and everything like that. So we're still like seeing everybody. We still want to go out and have a life. This helps boost your immune system, get that vitamin C, that zinc, that little B complex, and then get you hydrated.
And the immune system one's one of my favorites because I'm a supplementer, right?
Okay.
And I just also know that supplements are super expensive, and my digestive system doesn't just in bulk absorb everything that I throw at it. Again, we're taking very little and expending the rest in those ways. Where again, the IV is the best way to take the majority of what's being in there, and your body is able to use it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, zinc really upsets their stomach.
Big time.
So having that on in the defense drip is really helpful for them because then they can get it in that form and it's not as agitating.
Okay, what other stuff's in the defense?
So B complex and magnesium.
Okay.
And magnesium's really good for opening up your lungs and helping your breathing. So that's really helpful for just, staying away from RSV and pneumonia and all that. And then we have the strength drip. That one's really popular with our athletes and also just people with muscle pain, I'm finding out, because the amino blend and the mineral blend, those are all those trace minerals that you need to keep those synapses going and your muscles contracting and helping you not be dehydrated, not be in pain after you're done running your marathon or doing your powerlifting competition.
Yeah, I made the mistake after this last run that I did where I didn't exercise the next day, right? I didn't drink enough water, and I'm my habit is, and I'm always carrying around a thing of water. And that day I was just like so lazy about it, and I paid the price on that. So I've seen it on both sides, and if you're dealing with muscle aches and your body's just not able to process the lactic acid after doing something like that.
Exactly. And then you go into a state called rhabdomyolysis where your muscles are essentially contracting up and your body contracts up and you can't drink water. You're too far gone. At that point, you have to go to the hospital. And working in an emergency room, I have seen people come in with that, and we've just had to fluids. So it's really smart to just come and get that initial fluids. And I've had power lifters that have gone the hospital route, and they're like, never again. So they come and they hydrate before and after, and they're like, I'm good. I did my best, and I'm not dying.
Right.
And I don't have to go to the hospital, which is a big thing, that I'm trying to do is stop people from having to go to the hospital.
That's right.
Ideally.
And there's only a couple times when I've come to see you and done the IV drip, and then when I super hydrate before running a race, like when I'm in the moment, I'm thinking this feels amazing, and I feel like my body can take anything at this point. But then when I'm not running a race and I don't come see you, it's weird how I don't even think about being super hydrated, and I'm probably close to, even though I know this information, I'm probably close to being dehydrated most days, like everybody else.
Yeah. They say if your thirst kicks in, then you're already dehydrated. And that was done by a study at Cleveland Clinic, with the exception of diabetics, because they're, that hypoglycemic state always makes them thirsty, but that's them. Everyone else is, once you're thirsty, your body is already heading towards that dehydrative state.
Yeah, and your body has feedback mechanisms that will tell you when something's not right. And one of my sayings is you don't get a headache because of a lack of Tylenol in your body, right? It's trying to tell you something. Something is missing. And so that if you're in a constant state of thirst and the things that you're drinking are not quenching that thirst, then there's something going on. You're not improving, whatever level of hydration that you were in. Now, the thing where you pinch your skin, and if it doesn't bounce back, it's like, oh, I must be hydrated. My skin didn't do that. I'm assuming that little pinch thing isn't as accurate. It's not an accurate measurement.
I mean, to the point where that's an extreme.
Yeah, you're not close to death.
Yeah. If it tends, we probably need to pressure bag like 10 liters.
Yeah.
And that's that's actually more of I think for elderly people.
Okay.
to kind of just check
To make
on
sure they're not
them
close to dying.
because they drink very little. Their thirst mechanism is one of the earlier things to go away for them is that wanting to eat or drink.
Okay. Give me some more stuff off the menu. So we're at strength.
Okay, strength, defense. We have our vitality drip. We
Okay.
call that a multivitamin in a bag. It's got a little bit of everything: B complex, B12, calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, and all those are just like I said, vitamin in the bag or
All right.
multivitamin in a bag. So that is based on the Myers cocktail, and Dr. Steve Myers is the very first physician who came up with vitamin infusions in 1952.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So it's been around. It's not been here, but it's been around for a very long time. And it's just now becoming more widely acceptable to do vitamins inside an infusion. But so that one is based on the Myers cocktail. And usually people, when they go other places and then they come to me, they say, do you have a Myers cocktail? I'm saying, yep, it's our vitality drip. And then we also have the Radiate drip, which has biotin in it. And that's really big for, people who are losing their hair post-COVID, post-baby, just in general. That really helps with the regrowth. We have our Replenish drip, which is kind of our hangover cure.
Okay.
It's got our extra B complex and magnesium. And then we use lactated ringers, which is different than normal saline. It's just got more trace electrolytes in it, and it rehydrates you a little bit faster. And that one is also in the strength drip. And then we have the Restore drip. That one is for gut health. So a lot of people with, stomach bugs or maybe chronic issues with their stomach, this kind of helps repopulate the correct flora in their gut.
And, Regina, there's two sides of this. So there's the, contributing to your better health by making decisions nutritionally and drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's those catch-up things where I feel like, coming to you and doing one of these drips gives you this big advantage, like taking a power pill, right? And then going back to your normal life and maintaining that until it's time then to come in and get that power pill. Like when I travel, I get exposed to people that I don't normally. So my immune system needs a little help. So getting some kind of, drip when you're in that situation, being around relatives at the holidays, kids going back to school, all of these things pose a bigger danger than normal that takes a little extra power pill, to benefit or to battle.
Yeah. And we have a membership which allows you at a little bit of a discount to come every month, and it gives you a commitment to come every month. When it's already coming out of your bank account, you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to go get it. Kind of reminds you to go get the IV drip monthly. If that's too much of a commitment, we also have injections. We have a Triimmune injection, which is vitamin C, zinc, and glutathione. And that's a nice boost if you're traveling, if you're going to go to a family function, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. Come get your Triimmune before going over there and give yourself that extra layer of protection.
So let's hit some more stuff off of the menu. What else you got on?
I have a ton of injections.
Yeah, let's hear about them.
I wish I would have brought my list. Okay, so we have the Triimmune.
Okay.
We have B complex. We have B12 for energy. L-carnitine is also for energy and burning fat and turning fat into energy. So it's a really great weight loss one. And we take it often to gyms and do when we do our shot bars, we'll go to gyms and we'll take B12 and L-carnitine. And we'll also take our lipomino, which has B12, and then it has 3 amino acids that help boost your metabolism, burn fat, and help regulate insulin levels. We have CoQ10, which is a big seller. It is great for migraines. It's great for joint pain, and it's also good for fertility. So we do have some ladies that come get it weekly alongside their IVF and treatments, and they're trying to get pregnant. We also have our glutathione.
Okay.
That one's probably our best seller because we can do that as a push or as an injection. Glutathione is a naturally occurring antioxidant that our liver makes, and it helps detoxify our liver. It helps regulate our circadian rhythm, and it also helps just with gut health and detoxification of your gut.
And do you have a
That's all I think.
preference between, like, if you had someone come get an injection versus an IV? Is there one that, I know the injections are probably easier because it takes less time than getting the whole bag through your system. Do you have a preference?
So I always tell people the IV is a liter of fluids. You're getting that added hydration alongside of all those vitamins. We're also able to give you a nice mix of vitamins inside the bag. You can get anything from vitamin C to zinc to alpha lipoic acid. All of those we can put inside of a bag. Some of those we can't do as shots. We can't do vitamin C as a shot by itself. We can't do zinc as a shot. So kind of missing out on some of those great things by doing the shots. However, with a shot, it's smaller, it's manageable, the pricing is a little bit better, and when we give a shot, it goes into the muscle and it gets a slow disbursement. So you're getting a little bit throughout the week versus when you do the IV, it's all being utilized by your system now. And it's still in your system for about a week, but your body is utilizing all of it right now. So one of the side effects we do tell people is you get a little bit tired. Your body's doing a lot of work right now. It's really utilizing all those vitamins, putting them everywhere they need to go, to your heart, to your muscles, to your, making red blood cells. So sometimes you get a little bit tired. But with the shot, you're on your way. You're
Right.
fine for the rest of the day. So there's pros and cons to each one. I get a shot every week, and then I get an IV every month.
Okay. And I think the effects of the bag was the IV was probably super dramatic right off the get-go, and it lasted. That was the most surprising thing, is that I felt that effects. I felt better than normal for way longer than I expected it to.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that could be your normal.
Yeah, right. Right.
If you stuck with it and made like a regimen of just staying hydrated and getting vitamins infused.
And I don't know
You could
why that
feel-
doesn't occur to us. We're so
I know.
reactive people. I don't get it.
Truly, because people will jump up and they'll be like, I feel so much better. We do our new client calls 1 week out after everyone, after you come in as a new patient, we call you about a week later and everyone's like, I felt so great. I feel so great. And then we don't see them for 3 months. And then they come in and they're
They
like, I
forget how-
don't feel good at all.
Yes, exactly. Like I'll go into I'll cut out refined everything, no sugars, whatever, and just live really clean for a good couple months. And I'm like, okay, I'll get out of it for a little bit. And like, I know the last time I did this, I was like, I'm never going to get out again because it sucks because I feel so much better when I'm in it. But something in my brain's like, oh, I can bow away and eat that cake over there and I can do this over here.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how bad it was when I was not eating clean.
Yeah, I totally relate. I had a Reese's peanut butter cup yesterday, and I thought, I haven't had candy in so long.
Just do
What's
it.
one-
It'll be easy.
I was like, oh, this is like sugar in my mouth. It's like, and then I'm so buzzed because I'm not
Right.
used to having
Yes.
like such a shock of sugar.
So do you have a drip to make me smarter so that I'll remember that I need to be in a healthy state?
It didn't sell, so I took it off the menu.
Really? Oh my goodness. Does that speak of human beings or what?
It was called the Focus Drip.
Okay.
And it had taurine and it had folic acid and it had a couple other things, which actually took folic acid. I have a love-hate relationship with folic acid. It should be methylfolate, but nobody sells that. But I digress.
Okay.
I had the Focus Strip, and I was like, we have this, and we have the Focus Strip. I think I've only sold 2 of those Focus Strips, and so the vitamins that I was using specifically for that one just kept expiring, so it wasn't worth the cost to keep it. But looking at my month and at my year, that was my least seller.
Wow.
Which was crazy because I thought, what a great idea. Focus.
Yeah. And that's, delving into these health topics. It's always surprising about how there's enough information to know how we could feel better and live a more prosperous, easier life. But then we end up making every bad mistake in every department, whether it's financial health or, physical health or things like this. Why is it we are so wired to delve into the places that make us feel the worst is beyond me.
And I mean, we could go into marketing, into society, and the commercials we see and the cereals marketed to kids that are heavily sugar based. I mean, I same. I'm like, well, financially I should make these choices. I should do this. This is what I know I need to do. And then somebody's like, you can afford a Lexus. And I'm like, can I afford a Lexus?
Yeah.
Or like with some creative financing and sell your house
Well,
and your soul. Like
the people that sell the cereal, they would probably do like you did, sell the super healthy one that didn't taste as good, and then sell the one that was flavorful and everybody loved. And guess what? Which one we would choose, and guess which one would get taken off the menu?
yes, exactly. And they make it so bright and colorful.
Yeah. Human beings, we
I
think we're
still
so
miss
smart.
Fruity Pebbles.
But if given the choice of Fruity Pebbles or some heart healthy whatever, what are you picking? Your heart's going to pick the healthy, and your emotions are going to pick the thing that tastes good.
Yeah, we have to come from more of a cerebral place and not an emotional place, but we're emotional people.
Which means that you will always be necessary to help us backfill our bad decisions forever.
Yeah, I'm going to be here.
So last time we talked, you said that you were heading out to a convention of some kind. So what'd you find out there?
Right. So I went to Texas, and it was a bunch of IV hydration places getting together and listening to a lot of speakers about biohacking and health issues.
Oh, I love this topic.
Yeah, you would have loved it. It was 3 full days. So one of the speakers was a neurologist, a neuroscientist, and he created a mechanism that helps your brain go into a parasympathetic state. And the reason he says that's so important while you're getting IV hydration is because those vitamins absorb into your system better when you're in that parasympathetic state. That's rest and digest. So you're absorbing everything, you're utilizing it better than when you're in a sympathetic state, which is the fight or flight. And he said something as easy as just being on your phone while you're getting your IV is going to tense up your body, and it's going to really work against you in absorbing those vitamins. I thought that was really interesting. And now I know why I don't have a TV. A lot of people have pushed me to get a TV, but I'm very, this is a relaxing, meditative space. I play the meditative music, and we have essential oils going, and we have a nice massage chair for you to sit in. And we really encourage people not to be on their phones. But this is an even bigger reason why you should just close your eyes and let that absorb into your system.
Yeah, and I think this is important. I mean, this is in the same vein. Like, I think cultures before ours sort of understood this with using meditations and prayers to bring the brain down to a zero state so that it could start to rehab itself and repair itself. I think human beings probably never get to that state. And there's always something dinging, like my watch is always vibrating and a message is always coming in. Even when I go off and sit in front of the fireplace and say, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to bring it down to that level, my brain really struggles to truly concentrate on not concentrating on anything. And I think people are in a bad spot where we're so, addicted to that rush of, whatever you get from the dopamine you get from that.
And that's kind of what keeps us scrolling. And it's really hard. Again, you said before, what can we do when we know it's bad for us, but we keep doing it? This is one of those things where, yes, we should get off of that phone for an hour, the hour it takes to get the IV. But knowing the science behind it might help make a more informed and educated decision as to why you should just put the phone down, close your eyes and relax and take a few deep breaths. I know personally sometimes I can get a little bored, but then you just listen to
But
the
again,
music.
you only get bored and you only don't like the taste of water is when you're overstimulated in every other department.
Exactly.
So when you're
Yeah.
used to being bombarded by that stimulus and then you sit in a quiet room, it's tough to be in that room. Like I should be doing something, right?
Right. Yeah.
And part of this is creating those sensitivities in those areas. We know so much. We have an understanding of, like you said, the rhythms of sleep and the rhythms of how the brain operates and the neurological system. But when it's overstimulated, none of those things actually work until you bring those things down. You can't have a gut full of sugar and then come take an IV and offset all of that bad with like one little dose of good.
Right. And that's something I do mention to people when they come in terms of our shots, in terms of our IVs. I say, yes, this can help you, but it will just help you on your journey. It won't fix what you've got, what your issue is. A lot of that has to be on you to make different choices. And some people are open to that and they're like, yeah, you're right. And other people are like, I'm going to go eat a pizza. I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
So-
Or I'm going to, drink to the point where half my blood's alcohol and
Yeah.
then come get an IV thinking that's going to break me out and be healthy. I don't think so. Maybe it'll make me not die, but it's, not a healthy version of it.
Right. It's a cycle that maybe you should reevaluate.
Now, these conventions that you go to, that makes me happy that there is an interest in stuff like that, developing our awareness of what makes us healthy in, not just traditional senses, like a little bit more innovative things that are coming down. Did you see anything that kind of gave you hope in a different direction?
Yeah.
Got you
So
excited?
that parasympathetic state with that neuroscientist, he also created, it's called Brain Tap, and it's a headset with glasses and headphones. And I'm really I'm talking with them on what that would look like in our office and how I might be able to bring that
Nice.
in. We also talked with people from Energy Bits that do spirulina, little tablets, and they
What's
do
that?
algae.
Oh, okay.
Algae is like really good for energy and calibrating, making you more alkaline. They sell them just in these little tablets, or you can do like a little energy bar, but it's algae. It's an algae bar.
Okay.
So I'm talking with them on maybe bringing in a little bit of those products. I'm working with Carmela. Do you remember her last name? She was a TED Talk speaker with you,
Yes. Trying to think.
but she does cold pressed juices, and we're going to start bringing those in
Oh,
as
no
well.
kidding.
So
Nice.
there will be many things you can supplement that IV hydration with that can help you get on track. And of course, we're going to be doing a ton of education and talking a lot about it with people on what it looks like for you to add that to your regimen.
All right, Regina, thank you so much for sharing with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.